change your attitude to the game? Is it now more of a job than where I thought it was a hobby?
I don't normally talk a lot, so I might as well go. My name's Wayne Mardle, and I used to be a professional darts player, and I packed up because these lot kind of come around. Being a professional is, everyone thinks it's just basically practice a lot and everything else. You have to have a talent. If you haven't got a talent to even get to the thought process of thinking that you want to play competition darts, then you cannot do so. But there's so many elements, and you have to have the opportunity. There are a lot of players throughout the world right now that could possibly become professionals, but the circumstances don't allow. So we've all been fortunate in a way to have friends and family around us, but the only time it changes your opinion of the game is when you get beat. You go from loving it to hating it. But we all have one thing in common, and that's the practice element. No one here has got here through just talent alone. Mind you, Adrian's tried, I must admit. And it's hard graft, but the thing is that being a professional at any sport or in any walk of life, it takes dedication, and it makes you appreciate what you're doing is right, but also it makes you appreciate the good times. You've got to enjoy what you're doing when you're doing it well, because it doesn't last forever, and I can vouch for that, being just in my early 40s. I know I don't look it, I appreciate that, but it's just the way it is.
Thank you, Wayne. Let's have a question from the floor. Anybody put your hands up? I can't even find them. Anybody? Don't be shy. One big family here. Well, kind of like a family anyway. Anyway, Uncle Len? No? Alright, let's have another one off the internet then.
Yeah, okay. This one is addressed to Adrian and Phil, but again, it could be anybody who fancies having a go at this. Daniel Rutherford asks, what is the most difficult tournament to win based on the venue and the format?
Testing. For me personally, it's the World Pairs, without a shadow of a doubt.
The World Cup?
The World Cup. The reason being I'm got agency, so it's one of the venue or the dartboards. They're all got a bob back. It's the most enjoyable one for me, to be quite honest with you. I really enjoy that one. I think that's why we both play well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Go on, Dan. Keep going. We've got loads.
We've got another one from Wayne, but I'm going to go back to that one. Here's one from Nicholas Groves. Again, this is to all of you guys. I know some of you will have the same set of darts and you'll just use that constantly, but those of you who do change the set to refresh them, if you like, he asked, do you struggle when you do change to a new set of darts with the sort of change in grip, just that refreshed grip?
Anyone?
I think personally for me, I think when you have a new set of darts, I think you always struggle on the finishing side of it. You know, it's not scoring, your scoring's always going to be there, but I think when you're under pressure, I think you seem to miss a lot more doubles than what you do with a set what you used to.
Anybody else like to elaborate on that? Pass the microphone down this end a little bit. Pass your one down, Phil. Boys.
Anyone, fellas?
My name is Tony O'Shea and I'm an alcoholic. Just going back to the new darts there, I've had a set now for 22 years, and as you've seen up on the screen, I've actually just changed them recently, and obviously it's a bit strange to me. I think when you get a new set of darts, there's like a honeymoon period where they feel right, and I'm sure all the suppliers in here who sell lots of darts to people who've got 50 sets in the drawer somewhere, because your new set feels right just for that honeymoon period. But it takes a special set of darts for you to think them are the ones, and that's the secret, and finishing it is always the last thing to come with them as well.
Thank you.
Right, this one is specifically for Chizzy and Rapid Ricky Evans. NAC180 on Twitter asks, what is the best way for a young player to get into darts? Do you want this mic, Ricky? Oh, go on, Chizzy.
It's not drinking, but it will, mate. To get into darts, I started practicing with the big boys, and I just got better by playing them and beating them.
How old were you when you started, Chiz?
Mate, I was 17. But I'm going to start like playing professional when I was like 28, 29, and now I'm 35.
Ricky?
Just practice with someone a bit better than you, I thought. Just helped me. My dad was always doing darts, so I just practiced with him. And then I just went from Super League to county and then professional side.
You've done it in a kind of traditional way then, haven't you?
I've been playing 15, 20, 20 years. 16 years now, so yeah, I've been doing it since I could walk, really.
You've seen, like, nowadays you've got the youth tour, you've even got the Junior Darts Corporation, haven't you? So you probably know a lot of young players who are going through those systems which weren't there when you started.
I've gone through there for the youth tour up to this tour, so I've done, yeah, played with these guys and I've played with the youngsters, so yeah.
Well done. Another one? Anyone from the floor? Oh, we got one. There is a lady there. I'll make my way out while you ask another question. Go on, get one more off the internet there, Dan, while I make my way over here. This lady decided to be in another borough.
Well, I'll tell you what, look, we had Matt on Twitter asking Jaws, are you going back on the Pro Tour next year? I think that may have already been answered, but would you like to elaborate on that, Colin?
What was that, sorry?
Yeah, it basically wouldn't know when you're making your big comeback.
Let's wait until January 1st, I'll have a big announcement then.
Ooh, that's intriguing.
I'm serious.
It's very good. Brilliant.
Oh, come on, tell us! You can't do that!
Wayne, you're one of the nosiest people I know. So if I was going to be doing anything like that, you'd be the first person to know, wouldn't you? Sure, I don't know yet. I haven't finished playing darts. People have sort of like dug a grave for me and buried me. I'm still playing darts, I'm still doing exhibitions and whatever, and I'm having fun nights out with the legends, enjoying myself. I've done some good nights with Wayne as well. So I still love the game. I just found it getting a little bit difficult, and I've played darts since I was like a 12-year-old kid, so 30 years worth of wear and tear on me. On my shoulders there's pressure day in, day out. You know, you want to perform, excuse me, you want to perform, and I wasn't performing to the best of my ability as to the way I know I can play. So I've taken time out, I've taken a year off. Will I come back next year? I don't know, I'll see how I'm feeling towards the end of the year. At this moment in time, I'm enjoying life at the moment, relaxing, enjoying what I'm doing. I've gone back doing a little bit of labour work. But like I say, I'm still doing my exhibitions, I'm still throwing a mean enough dart. But, you know, at some point or another, you have to stop and think to yourself, you know what, I've had a good run of it. And the youngsters are coming through, Joe and Ricky and everyone, you know, they're very, very hungry to succeed in the game, you know. And they look at an old sod like me and think, you know, you're in my way, old man, get out of the way. So, and the very best of luck to them, you know. Matt Porter's here from the PDC, they're making the game huge now, it's worldwide. There's fantastic money to be earned. You know, you become a global superstar when you make it in the world of darts. I was just happy to be part of it, but sure, we'll see. Never say never. You never know, you never know.
Brilliant, Colin. Fantastic. Question from Adam.
It's to ask, when you were saying, like Chizzy, at 17 you were playing darts, and the government's incentive for children to learn times tables before they leave to go to secondary school, which is age 11 going into 12, what do you think schools can do to bring darts as a sport in to help? Because we know it helps with their maths. Many schools have the Velcro ones and for golden time for children, but what do you think can be done to get these young players? We have the children that come in and their maths has improved massively once they've started in the academy, and their parents said their English has gone and other things. They're not even playing the computer games as much. Dance has become their life and improved there. But what else how can we get the teachers to actually see darts as a sport, to recognise sport, because it's not just down the pub and it's not just the teenagers. Them young players, I think you've got an audience there that you're missing.
It's a long question. You're asking the wrong person. I'm glad they got
Funny, that won't come as a surprise.
I missed school for 5 years.
These academies are great, so let's answer that question. How do we get
I think that's
kids back in?
that.
Chizzy, you can pass that to someone if you like.
Yeah.
Right, can I just interject, Chizzy? This kind of interrupt, but not quite. The thing is, back in 1998, Holland had a brilliant after-school scheme, and it was basically, they used to hire anyone, really, for the best part of like €20 to get these kids that wanted to play darts, that didn't matter what age. They were between 8 and 15 anyway, but the age was kind of irrelevant. And these kids were constantly, kind of every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, playing darts for just an hour. And there is a correlation in their test results that those that play darts were better at maths. So it works, it does work, but the trouble is that there were injuries, which is going to happen. But it was an after-school scheme that wasn't kind of any part of the curriculum. It was something that was the kids wanted to choose. They chose to do it. I believe something like that in a school would work 100%. The thing is that they've got to have that interest first off. The school has got to think, do you know what, this will help. But I don't know what you mean by their English went. Is there a correlation between playing darts and being slightly thick? I don't know. But Adrian said there is, yes. But I really do think it would help if there was any school, whether it be secondary school or infant school, that really said we're going to have an hour 3 times a week and you just play darts. But there's no point in just throwing aimlessly, thinking, oh, I've hit a treble 20, a 7 and a 9. And, right, okay, that's it. Well, what did you score? What does it leave? And everything. I know that. I know what was scored. I know that. But it is important, I really do. They stopped that in Holland. They stopped that for about 5 or 6 years. Well, it's actually back again. It's back again. I actually think it's intriguing that they've realised it was a mistake to stop. So maybe there's a lesson there to be learned.
Very good question. Anyone else? One over the back there, what on? Could be right on here, could it? It'd be all the way over there. Right, Charlie? I've seen it for hours. Here we go.
Me and my lad love watching the darts on the telly, and one of the things we've noticed is how much the banter from the crowd has increased over the years. So my question is, does that banter help or hinder, depending on where you're playing? And if you're English playing Scotland, then obviously it's a problem.
Do you want me to answer this one? It all depends how you feel on the day, to be quite honest with you. There's times when you're on song and you're playing well, it wouldn't matter if there was a brass band up there. And then there's a time when you're struggling and you can affect you. Then you find somebody you want to pick on then. It's full time, it's them doubles or whatever, do you know what I mean?
Or you can just join in, Phil.
Wayne asked me this morning, he said, what was all that about? What was you doing that for? I got bored. To be honest with you. I thought, well, I might as well enjoy myself. I'm going to be, it's only be another half an hour, I'll be going down them six, so might as well do something. Freaking time, you know what I mean? He's a brilliant player, but I think it has changed. I mean, going back to the school question, and I've done a little bit in the schools, I've been all over China promoting the darts and things like that. The only thing I think in the UK you're going to struggle with is health and safety things. And who is going to look after the school, with a load of kids throwing darts about? Me personally, no, because I think you'd have a right on your hand, especially in Stoke anyway. But that is a problem, but it is fantastic for kids. My grandson Matthew has gone from being a normal kid now to top of the class in his mathematics. He says really, really good. I'm not sure about your English, Matt. How are you getting on with English? Right. Yeah, but it is a fantastic way. And what you're doing is making it. What I used to do was go into the classroom, and then I'd have the boys versus the girls and have a quiz. So if the boys went up and hit a score, then tell us what you hit. Half the time they were all over the place like this, and then I'd fire a question at them. So you've got to answer the question to get the points. And if you don't give me the answer, I'm going to ask the girls. And you don't want to get beat by the girls, do you? No, make it fun, make it a bit of a fun thing. And the school teachers can do that. So there's a way of doing the mathematics and a way of doing the English as well. So spell target or whatever, do you know what I mean? And you want to spell target.
Right, anybody else?
Aidan wants to say something.
Also, Gary Plummer gave me a few soft tip darts and dartboards, and I took them in the kids' school, and they after school clubs. That's good. And we stepped some. He's top of the class in maths, so brilliant.
Is there any more questions here? Because I'll tell you what we'd like you to do. Have a look inside those goodie bags and there's some bits for you to get signed. And I think probably the best way to do it is just come up a table at a time and just start maybe at this end, start with